My name is Tim Zenor-Davis. I am the Senior Program Coordinator at Roots Community Health Center. Our mission is to uplift those who are impacted by systemic inequities and poverty. And we do that through medical and behavioral health care. We provide health navigation services, workforce enterprises, advocacy, housing, and outreach. So when we're thinking about especially East Oakland, we think that the most important thing is that our folks have access to information and resources when it comes to disasters and emergency. So they need to know how to prepare for certain disasters and emergencies. They need to know what they should be doing during those emergencies, and then how they rebound when we're past the emergency. And so it's just really important that the city is making sure that it's directly coming to that community and seeing those gaps in the access to information and to the access of resources. Especially when we're looking at at climate change and the way that our disasters are changing, our weather patterns are changing. It's just important that the safety elements stay in tune with it, and especially how this impacts kind of marginalized communities, because I think that when you're looking at the effects that, fires, earthquakes, flooding, how that impacts those communities, then that will have kind of the sidewalk effect, right? Which means that as you're trying to help those communities prepare for and then work through those disasters, you're also having kind of a ripple effect that's going to benefit not only the rest of the community, but also the rest of the city. Looking at our marginalized and traditionally underserved communities, I think when you look at the kind of impact that we see from the way the climate change has changed our kind of natural disasters, I think you learn a lot of lessons of how we help move those communities through those events. So as the city is learning how these traditionally underserved communities are working through these events, then it gives them an idea for a bigger plan. It's important that when we're looking at how we are trying to protect and prepare those folks that have limited or no access to information and resources, it actually gives us a plan that actually benefits the larger community. And so I think that just looking at how climate change is affecting those communities will then help inform how we come up with plans and practices for the rest of the city. I think it's super important that you make sure that people have access to emergency preparedness kits. So either they have information of where they can get the materials to put together those kits for themselves, or definitely for those people who don't have the resources to be able to do that, that we're giving to them. That we're making sure that there's not a family or an individual, especially in East Oakland, that doesn't have an emergency kit that has water, flashlights, non-perishable foods, those little wind-up radios that KQED gives away, so that you can stay in contact and know what your next moves are, what the weather patterns look like, what the rescue efforts are, all of that. I think that's critical in making sure that people are able to be able to have what they need in the case of certain natural disasters. So I think you gotta meet folks where they are, right? I think, sure, you can, still do the traditional ways of, sending out email blasts, telephone blasts, and all that. But I think it's very important to meet people where they are. You need to be outside of schools. You need to be outside of churches. You need to be outside of corner stores, outside of fast food restaurants, connecting with people who may not otherwise be able to have their voices heard or get the information that they need.